Everybody, welcome to Stamping with Melva. I'm Melva Peters and I'm an independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator in British Columbia, Canada, and you can find me online at stampingwithmelva.com. It's kind of a Christmas day, Christmas party day here. So this morning we had our team Christmas party through Zoom. I have team members from across up and down the island and the mainland of British Columbia, as well as across Canada. And so we always meet via Zoom, so nobody misses out. And so hence my little snowman dealy boppers that I have on, and my somewhat Christmassy sweater. It's the only Christmassy sweater I kind of have. And this afternoon, the team I'm on, Canada Inks Up, is also having their Christmas party. So it's kind of a double Christmas party today. So I thought I would jump on in the middle of those two events and share a card, not a Christmas card. This is using Friendly Foliage, which I have to say is becoming one of my favorite bundles that was released in the online exclusives in November. And so it is one of my favorites. I love the simplicity of it, but you can make it look really cool. And so I'm going to use a sneak peek for embellishments, as well as a bit of a different color combination for me. I haven't tried this one before. So I'm going to switch over to my desktop and we'll get started. All right, so this is the Friendly Foliage bundle. New packaging, as anything that's come out since November is new packaging. So this is a stamp set, some great sentiments in this stamp set. It's perfect for all sorts of occasions, especially for those, where you've got somebody you're thinking about them, you've got them on your mind. That's just such a lovely image. So that's the images. We're going to use that one. So I'm going to grab it while I have my block. I've already got the sentiment piece out. All right, and then these are the dies. Now, these two dies will actually cut that image out. And if you just use this outer die, it cuts around it and you have a solid image. And if you put this in the middle of over the stamped, you get all of the gaps cut out for you, and then there's some leaves that you can use. Okay, so let's get started. When I said it's a bit of a different color combination, I am using Secret Sea. Love Secret Sea. So an in color that came out. It's kind of almost replaced my black. Almost replaced my Night of Navy. So this is already scored. So this is 4 1/4 by 11, and it's scored at 5 1/2. So I've given it a good burnish with my bone folder. And then I took a piece of Old Olive. How pretty is that color combination? Secret Sea and Old Olive. So this piece I cut a little bit smaller because I wanted to see more of the Secret Sea. So this is 3 3/4 by 5. And it's embossed, if you can see, and the embossing is called Beautiful Patterns Embossing Folder, and it's part of the Brushed with Beauty suite. I love this. Just a little subtle background. Now, let's see if I've got a blending brush, a green blending brush somewhere. Of course, I don't have one handy. This will do. I just want to add a little bit of Old Olive to this to make it show up a little bit more. So I've got my Old Olive ink pad tap, and I'm just going to lightly sponge around and pick up this. If you start off the image, you don't get kind of that dark splodge. It's not as easy to get that with your blending brush as long as you don't press too hard. But adding the ink over top of the embossed texture just kind of brings out the pattern a little bit more. At least I think it gives just a little bit of more depth to the embossed pattern. There we go. Okay, so we got that, just a little bit extra on there. Okay, so this is going to go on here. I haven't quite decided. I've got some twine that I'm going to use, so we'll wait to adhere this down. Got a piece of basic white, so 4 inches by 5 1/4 to go on the inside of the card. And then I took a piece of basic white. This is 3 inches by about 4 inches. And on the back of it, I took a piece of the foam adhesive sheets and I adhered it on the back. So I'm actually going to stamp on this. And I'm going to stamp it in Secret C. So I'm going to stamp this lovely leaf image. And I probably shouldn't have stuck that to the back, but I think it's going to give me a little bit of cushion to be able to stamp. There we go. There. There's my... Now, when I said, where's my dies? I'm using these 2 dies. So you can take this one. You do need some post-it note tape or post-it note or washi tape just to hold this in place so you get it positioned. So you can use the leaves to position this. And then this piece also position using the leaves. Just kind of get those leaves in the center of the openings. And just a piece, I'm going to put another piece on here just so it doesn't wiggle around too much. It already has wiggled around. All right. Let's try that again. Let's do the middle first. Get that positioned with my leaves. And then this over top, and of course I move everything. Okay, so that's in position. And then that's in position. All right. So now we can just position that down, position that, and then I'm just going to bring in my mini Stampin' Cut and Emboss, because this is narrow enough that it will go through. And so we'll run this through. Okay. So now you can take and peel this away. So if you don't have the adhesive foam sheets, you can use dimensionals or mini dimensionals to position this, but the adhesive foam sheets make it really easy. Now, hopefully, so you're going to just take your pick tool. If you run this through a couple of times, which I didn't do, it actually will cut through all the way to the back. But I actually didn't do that, so I'm going to use my take your pick tool to just get in and pull out the cardstock and the foam from the cutouts, just so that I'm not worrying about having to do that once I have it pulled off. It will be all set to adhere. As I said, if you run it through a couple of times, it cuts out beautifully and you don't actually have to even do this, but I didn't really think about that when I had it onto my machine. Doesn't take too long, so you can just, some of these pieces are nice and big. Some of them are quite little though. All right, Hopefully I've got all of them. Except for this one, this really little one here. Okay, hopefully we'll get that out. Okay, so now I'm gonna take, that's gonna go on. Now the other thing I cut out in advance, did you know that we have vellum? So vellum came out. Might have been in the Brush with Nature suite. And so this I cut out using that solid die. So will fit like this. So if I just put it on like this, you'll just see. So what I thought I'd do is I would turn it upside down, and then I'm going to take and put this over top of it. So I can take and now peel that backing off. Now, what you do want to make sure, so I'm going to just take this, let's take my silicone mat. So I'm going to take this, this is turned upside down, and so we're going to see the vellum through, but the leaves, the stems are going to kind of show above and below. So the vellum we have is, I think it's thicker than the vellum we've had in the past that came up 8.5 by 11. This is 12 by 12. So you get more of it. And so that's just going to go on like that. I also have, this has become my absolute favorite. This is the Old Olive and Early Espresso linen thread. So I'm going to take some Old Olive. So before I put this piece on, I'm going to just wrap this around about 3 times, leaving myself some thread so that I can tie a bow like this. And I'm just going to tie this a little bow, hopefully a little bow, over on the left hand or on the right hand side. I think it might have right and left, and then tight. Okay. There we go. And now when you adhere vellum, it's not too bad with this, but when you adhere vellum, you do want to make sure that it's in a position so that you can't actually see it. You will see adhesive through the vellum. So I am just going to take some mini dimensionals and try to position them where there is a big section that you won't be able to see those dimensionals. Maybe one more there. Okay. So you won't be able to see those dimensionals through the vellum. Okay. Now we're just going to put that right in the middle like that. And now I don't have any Stamp & Seal or Stamp & Seal Plus. I usually use Stamp & Seal when I've got ribbon or twine just to hold it in place. So I'm going to use tear and tape for the adhesive to adhere this onto my card base. Not a big problem because the linen thread is wrapped around and tied, but I like to give ribbon a little bit more security when I've got it onto the card so it doesn't pull off. So now this can just go onto our card base like that. That pretty color combination. Okay, so we need the inside of the card and we need a sentiment. So I'm going to stamp the sentiment that says "Get well soon." I have a friend who has been a bit under the weather, and I was going to use Secret C, but I think I'm going to use Old Olive just to make it stand out a little bit more. So we'll stamp that on a scrap, and then I've got the piece of basic white for the inside of the card. So let's just take one of these stems and stamp down in the bottom the right-hand corner. There. So it's full strength, and then just second generation before I didn't re-ink it to do that. So this can go on the inside of the card. And then if you watch me, you know that I actually like to fussy cut my sentiments. Just cutting a rectangle. If you don't like to fussy cut, then you can use the trimmer to cut a rectangle first. Okay, now I'm going to have to pop up my one end of my sentiment. Double pop it up because I have two sets of two layers of dimensionals. So I'm just going to put it right down here. Actually, I almost need another one. The adhesive foam sheets must be a little bit thicker than our dimensionals. So I'll do that. One more. And that's probably too much. Oh no, it's actually not. There we go. That's definitely got lots of height to it on that one end. Now, I said I was going to give you a sneak peek. These are beautiful new embellishments. They are called Moody Palette Glossy Dots, and they are part of a suite, an online exclusive coming out in January called Lovely Blossoms. So I believe that's Secret Sea, Old Olive, Cloud Cover, and White. So we're going to use some of the Secret Sea because that's the color combination. I love these. I love this color combination of the three. This if you will love the suite when it comes out. All right, there we go. So that's the Friendly Foliage with a bit of a sneak peek of the new embellishments, some of the twine, and then just to show you the vellum that we actually came out with Brush with Beauty, which was a release in November. All right, now I have a card to send off to my friend, wishing that she was feeling a little bit better. All right, there we go. Oh gosh, I forgot I had these dealy boppers on. All right, everybody, thanks for joining me today. Hope you have a great Sunday and hope you get to spend some time in your craft room. And until the next time, now I won't be live through the week. I'm going away Tuesday to Friday, but I will be back live on Sunday at 12 noon.